Begin the very first review today with one of the most ubiquitous cars in America, the Toyota Camry. This here is a 2011 base model, one I haven't really seen too much myself. It came with a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder, making about 169 horsepower and about 164 torque-ish, a bit less really, but not much less. Basically held up to 18.5 gallons of fuel and ran on 87 with a MPG of 22 in the city and 33 on the highway for excellent range, especially in its time. Now, Toyota Camrys of this generation, the prior ones that Toyota is basically trying to get over, if you will, got a bit of a bad reputation among the car community for, having rather bland taste, bland driving dynamics, and vanilla flavoring overall, if you will, a lack of passion. But in the end, this car still sold very well and functioned very well. It carries good resale value, is known for its excellent reliability, and is a staple of practicality, value, utility, and again, just good old darn reliability. Let's go ahead and take a look inside and see how it all works together, shall we? Taking a look at the most important part, the driver's side area, you see that it's got a decent step in height, good overall shape, nothing really hard at all. Being a car, it's not, it's not low, really, it doesn't feel low. You're greeted by Toyota's enormous generic steering wheel, but again, it's not ugly. I personally think it's, clean, efficient, and, simple gauge cluster. They're very simple text, nothing elevated, no 2-point areas, nothing like that. Very good. I mean, the steering wheel is not in my way. When it comes to whether it's telescoping, it does go up and down, but it is not telescoping. So, some definite adjustability there, but, if you do have that expectation of telescoping, you're not going to see that. And again, very simple mirrors. You do have like a little bit power mirrors, so they're very big. Like visibility is perfect. I mean, it's just overall very, very visible. The seating position is fine. Good armrest over here. I see no issues with it. It's soft. My favorite part is, of course, the cloth in this car. It's very, very soft, and even though the armrest part is not very thick, it still gets the job done and will at least not leave your elbows sore. My Mustang has it all rubber, so it's much better than that. I'm honestly more of a cloth kind of guy. I prefer cloth over leather. Yeah, leather's fancier, it's the cool go-to and all, but no, I like cloth, especially here in hot Arizona. And this cloth is nice. I mean, it's really, really soft, really felt. I really like it. I'd say that's probably one of the high points. It's just so comfortable compared to what I'm used to. And, seating position is fine. It doesn't really have any real bolstering. I mean, there is a little bit, but it's made, wide. So for someone smaller like me, it doesn't really do much. Thigh bolsters are almost non-existent. But again, it's meant to be very easy to get into and out of and just be comfortable, more lounge-like. So when it comes to that, it gets the job done for sure. When it comes to the mirrors up top, you do have mirrors on all of them, so that's really good. No light or anything to go ahead and go with them, but it's still good to have mirrors nonetheless. Really nice materials overall. You do also get grab handles on all 4 corners, so your passengers do have something to hold on to whenever you're trying to make sudden stops or anything. Again, it's got everything you need. When it comes to the center console, this opens up to reveal a rather cavernous little center console storage bin. You can fit tons in there. I mean, this little, how tall those things are. They go pretty tall up, taller than your hand, and the whole thing can fit in there pretty much easily. They even included this little bucket that you can go ahead and put up top to go ahead and slide or anything as you see fit. So it's really nice. Nice of Toyota to go ahead and give you that. Just lots of options. Again, a real nod to practicality. You have a little pocket in here for the charge port, which is what most of us use this for nowadays. Or not charge port, I'm sorry. You would probably call it the 12 volt pole, whatever that may be, the smoking thing or whatnot. You know what I'm talking about. You've got that right there. And then a nice little place here. The owner has used it to go ahead and hold some change. And you get 2 cup holders as well. They're also really nicely sized. You have a bit more customizability because of that. So good for, you know, holding different size cups, or you can just take it out all together. Pretty cool. It's actually pretty cool. So another nod to practicality. And then a nice big storage bin over here as well. You can put a lot of things in here. And there's another 12-volt socket right there as well, so that you can go ahead and plug in something else as well. So definitely got their bases covered when it comes to, you know, storage, I would say, you know, considering the sedan of the time, map pockets and all. The windows are basically automatic for the front. Actually, no, they're all automatic, so that's really good. You actually do have the option of getting them all up or down at any time, and very, very nice, gotta say. A nice metal door handle. Now, materials are definitely not going to be the best. I mean, you know, again, it's from that time period, 2011. People were still using plastic, so at least this is a rubbery, more rubbery material. It's not hard plastic, but the center area, that is. This is also nice and rubber, so I definitely would say it could be much worse. I mean, I've seen way more plastic, you know, in some of the other cars we've been in, especially the economy class cars. They tend to be worse, so this is definitely a step above that. And even some of the American, you know, I like American cars, but yeah, when it comes to materials, I'd say this car is probably doing better than the others were for its time. Fair enough, especially considering it's a base model. So definitely pretty good. I like it. Now you go ahead and step into the back, and you see that there's a nice big opening right there as well. You know, low step in height again, and it's rather cavernous. I mean, there's really not much here. It's, again, I love the cloth. It's just so comfortable. Like, I could easily nap in this car. It's just nice for sure, meant for comfort. Nice big map pockets over here. You can fit anything because people don't use maps anymore. And another little bit of storage right there. This car does actually carry rear seat cup holders as well, intelligently used here for napkins, because I never seem to have any when I want them. And I mean, you know, I feel with all the gray, it can feel a little bit sterile, but I mean, at least it's not, you know, something that's ugly or anything, and it's just really comfortable. Again, very, very soft cloth, very, very roomy. I mean, sitting behind myself, I mean, I have tons of leg room. It's like crazy. I can like almost outstretch my legs. Like, being that I do stand at 5'6", I am a smaller guy, so I can go ahead and explain it a little bit for you, you know, why I have so much room. But hey, even behind someone taller, if the seat scooted back a bit more, you know, your more typical height, I mean, I still have room. And even if someone was longer, I'm pretty sure that, you know, it would take a lot taller to really not have that much room in this. So to me, I mean, I'm used to smaller cars anyway, but this midsize to me is more than large enough. So definitely got lots of room, you know, for the time, I have to say. Not bad at all. The materials in the back are pretty much actually the same in the front, which is a pretty impressive thing, I must say. Most of the time, the back seats are a little bit less impressive compared to the front. You still have, you know, something that's at least not hard touch plastic right here. You know, it's softer, like that rubbery material. You still have the really nice felt foam over here for your armrest whenever you're leaning on that. You still even have auto up, down windows over here. This is impressive, I gotta say. A lot to come with when it comes to this model. You do get shoulder belts and everything, so it's all really nice, honestly. You could even set a person right, again, it seats 5, so you can put someone there. Just lots of stuff, and again, I just love the storage. You know, you've got that right there. There was even pockets up here on the center console that you can use. I mean, I had my phone put right there, and it actually stuck. I mean, you know, and my phone is, my Galaxy S8 is definitely like a bar of soap, so good space. I have to say, definitely an impressive nod to storage with regard to this car. So much more than what I'm used to on average, for sure. Now here we begin with the passenger side seat. I mean, we don't have to even really review the opening. It's basically the same. But here, I'll go ahead and give you a little overview of the interior once again. It's, again, very clean, simple overall, very spacious. I mean, when I get inside, being that this seat's even just a little bit more big, I mean, my legs are literally outstretched. There is so much room in here compared to what I'm used to. I can't imagine how much of a bigger boat those full-sizers are, but man, this is tons of room for, you know, someone small like me. So if you're on the smaller side, this will have more than enough room for you and, you know, any people that you have that's, you know, maybe less than 5'9" or so. So pretty good. Again, materials are the same. I'm impressed, honestly. This car is very, at least, even though the materials may not be anything fancy, at least they're universal all across the cabin. Like, that's really good. And let's see, when it comes to it, you know, same semi-rubbery material up here, kind of hard, you know, a bit plasticky otherwise over here, you know, mat pockets. But again, this is nothing fancy, so who really cares? What you're actually touching is what matters, and that's of good material, you know, nice soft felt. And a lot of accommodations. The glove box is not damped, but it is spacious. Like, wow, you can fit so much in here. Like, I'm used to glove boxes even in an Explorer that I was in that could barely fit the manual, and I don't know, gloves if you were, you know, lucky. That is spacious. It's just got tons of room, so you can put, like, that's actually useful as storage. Again, this car has storage to spare. I am loving it. Now again, it's just a simple, basic, you know, like rather sterile, but at least it's effective. You know, the AC, where it goes, window defoggers, all the good stuff. Visibility is easy in cars like this. You know, that's the plan. So very, very good in that regard. And you know, you get 1, 2, 3, 4 vents, nothing fancy or anything, and they are very basic, you know, but at least you do have the ability to lock them with this little knob over here. You know, a lot of cars don't, some cars don't actually have that ability, or they just use the vent themselves to lock it. Not so with this. So it's good. I like it. Pretty good amenities, but there are a few things missing. It does not have any Bluetooth, and we have not found a way to go ahead and make the aux work with this one. So, but that might just be the system itself. Again, it is a, you know, almost 10-year-old car now, so it's getting up there. But still, it all works cleanly, you know. It's nice. I mean, it doesn't feel like something that was just barely put together. And considering how old it is and these materials, they're lasting pretty good. I'm actually thinking it's pretty good. I've definitely seen cars in much worse condition. So good. Alright, so setting off in the 2011 Camry base, the impression I'm given is that, of course, it's, you know, I like how straight it tracks. It's very smooth. See, it's a fair drive. It's nothing bad. Now, when it comes to it, I'd say the gauges are very simple, and, you know, the steering feel is vague. You don't really get much, and there's a lot of slack. You can really move it a lot without actually steering, which I usually wouldn't like. But again, it's a sport, not a sports car. It's supposed to just, you know, be good for going straight, and that's it. And it does track pretty straight. You know, it needs minimal input. Like, I can one finger it very easily. So they wanted to make this big old sedan be nice and easy to steer. Mission accomplished. You know, most people probably don't really care for steering feel anyway. When it comes to U-turns, yeah, it takes a lot of room. Not gonna be doing real good in small spaces. You will have to be doing 3-point turns for sure. The little P215 tires don't really help much with grip and turning anyways. When it comes to braking, I mean, you know, the suspension is soft and wallowy. It's not a sports car, so it's not something that's really meant to go ahead and be super direct or you know, pointed or precise. It's meant to just be soft and cushy, and that's what it is. It's a little vanilla, if you will, but that's what a lot of people probably just want. It's just something very basic and vanilla. You got the big pillars over here, but I mean, what new car after 2010 really doesn't have them? Airbag requirements and all that, you know how it goes. It does have several airbags, which is really good. Oop. Good ride height, because I barely scraped it when I barely even saw the bump right there. I have to give it a plus for that. Now here we are going ahead and navigating through a simple park, and I have to say it's fair. It's easy to steer. Like it's not heavy at all. Very light. And again, most people would like that. The general populace would. And the visibility is again great. I mean, I have no issue managing the surround. I remember when I first drove my Mustang, it was a lot easier to curb because of the visibility being so low. Not so with this big old thing. Definitely don't have to worry about that at all. And so, night has fallen upon the world. And we go ahead and finish the final impressions when it comes to driving at night with this car. Again, gauges are super duper nice, bright, and easy to see. We'll go ahead and get some acceleration impressions and some cornering impressions and note how they feel. Alright, so getting on this little itty bitty straightaway here, we'll test acceleration. A little torque steer. So it gets to like 40 quickly enough, but anything after that is gonna take a little longer. This is not gonna win any drag races, but it's not a rolling traffic cone either. So I give it that. Like the Spark I drove was most definitely slower. This is better than that. So that's something, you know, considering the MPG it gets in its size, I'll give it a pass. Well, when it comes to handling, it is definitely again, not a sports car. I need to go ahead and stop thinking of it like, you know, and comparing it to that, because that's not what it's meant to do. It's meant to go around everything super slow like most people do, so that's good. Now, I will say something that I kind of don't like is that this thing doesn't really have an MPG reader or even at least a compass, you know? Those others have, like, you know, tell you if you're going west or not. This does not tell you that. Nor it does give you the temperature, so you at least have that, you know, as something available. But aside from that, you know, you get your trip and temp, and that's it, you know, nothing else when it comes to it. So if you're hoping for information like that, you know, again, very small gripes, but you know, when you get used to them in newer cars, it's, you know, it's something you definitely, I guess, notice is a bit more missing. Now, when it comes to what you're listening to for sound, it's pretty simple. You do have a CD player. Being that the Escort doesn't work, we haven't really been able to see it work much. The sound system is fair, nothing really fancy, but again, I don't really have high standards when it comes to sound. I'm not the biggest audiophile, so I don't really place any design for something like that. It gets the job done, and it's easy to operate. You just choose whether you want disc right there, AM or FM, are literally two separate buttons, which is pretty cool. And, you know, for switching the actual tracks, you just have this button right here. Very simple and easy to use, and you know, I like how it's lit. It's very easy to see. Again, really efficient, really clean. So good job, Toyota, in that regard. If I step on it now, like, that's how long it took to actually accelerate. Like, so again, different applications, but if you do care about speed in any regard, you may not really like this car or immediacy. Just a good key point to have. Cars like this with this type of application typically are meant to have only like 3 settings, and it feels like that because I know that's how my old Sonic was. Basically, it either had like partial throttle, like 25%, halfway throttle, or full throttle, and it feels like this car has basically got that. It does have a little Tiptronic little transmission over here, so it's nice, you know, you can at least choose your gear to some degree right there. But beware, if you do want to go ahead and have it like redline and just hold there, it will shift for you. See, and it shifted even though I didn't tell it to, so just something to keep in mind. But it's nice to have it as an option, you know, as opposed to a basic overdrive like some cars of the time had. So good. Honestly, I'm glad that Toyota at least gives you some option in that regard, considering what kind of car it is. Alright folks, so there you have it, the 2011 Toyota Camry. Yes, it's boring. Yes, it's bland. The inside is super sterile. Not the most exciting because it's all great, but guess what? It all works. It's comfortable. It is easy to drive. Visibility for days. Enormous windows. It doesn't even get that hot inside like compared to my Mustang. So honestly, when it comes to a car that just gives you no trouble, no fuss, you really can't go wrong with this one. This one may be bland and all of those dumb adjectives, you know, might not be the car guy's car, but when it comes to being a car, it's just really good at it. So when it comes to the previous generation, I can see why Toyota's trying to attract newer buyers with it, but when it comes to, you know, if you have a family member that just wants a nice, easy, affordable way to go ahead and get around that, you know, fits family or friends if they want them, you know, this is a good choice because it works for a long time, it gets good resale value, has minimal maintenance, it runs on regular. I mean, again, just a good car overall when it comes to being a car. So you definitely can't go wrong with it. This is the random reviewer, guys, closing out my first review on the 2011 Toyota Camry. Now, what do you think of the Camry? Is it a great car? Do you think it's the most boring car in the world? Let it be known in the comments. Would you own one yourself? Is it a mom's car, or is it the Prius of its time? Not worth your time at all. Do you guys have any feedback since I'm a first-time reviewer? Let it again be known in the comments. Go ahead and make it so that the subscribes and the subs go up so I can drive more cars for you guys or bikes. I also will be doing drones as well as cameras and other tech as well. Again, go ahead and comment, subscribe, like, go ahead and blow this channel up so I can do more for you guys. Random reviewer closing out. Peace.